welcome to listen to Old Chen's Ghost Tales. Kids, never go into the river to catch fish. Beware of the water monster grabbing your ankle. Welcome also to watch my master Lee Half Crazy, the Huyan water monster. For some reason, most of my childhood memories seem to be only of summer. Probably because of the long summer vacations. Every summer, the happiest thing was going down to the river to catch fish. The reservoir where we usually played happened to be right next to the mass graveyard where Old Man Feng lived. That day was strange. There wasn't a single fish to be seen. Zhu Big Fat and Monkey were ready to try their luck in the deeper water. Just then, I suddenly stepped on something slippery. From experience, I instantly guessed what it might be. Taking a deep breath, I dove to the bottom, dug it out of the mud, and sure enough, it was a treasure. A huge freshwater mussel, big enough to make a delicious pot of soup that night. When Zhu Big Fat and Monkey saw this, they tried to snatch it from me. But I was already on guard. I quickly swam toward the deep water. Just as I got there, something grabbed my ankle. Before I could even shout, I was dragged down. At first, I thought it was Zhu Big Fat and Monkey pulling a prank. But when I saw the thing clearly, I was scared out of my wits. I couldn't be sure if that red-eyed, sharp-fanged monster was the so-called water ghost from the old tales, but as it dragged me down with all its strength, I knew I had no chance of survival. The river kept rushing into my mouth and nose. My consciousness grew fuzzy until I sank into a quiet, endless darkness. Later, Zhu Big Fat recalled that when the villagers finally pulled me out of the water, I was already lifeless. They tried everything to save me, but nothing worked. My parents were devastated. They cried until their voices went hoarse. If I had really died that day, who knows if they would have had another child later on. But besides my parents, there was another person who didn't want me to die too soon. That person was Lee Half Crazy. "Sorry, I drank too much fruit wine last night and came late." "You all step aside and let me try," he said. No one believed his nonsense. After all, my body was already cold. But Lee Half Crazy suddenly seemed to go mad again. He stomped hard on my stomach with his foot, complaining as he did so about how disobedient I was. Everyone was stunned by his bizarre behavior. "Lee Half Crazy, old man, if you can't help, then fine. But why kick the dead child's body?" "Yeah, what are you doing to my son?" My family thought the crazy old man had lost it completely. The drunk old man, acting wild again, was about to get beaten up. "I just kicked your son back to life, and you still want to hit me?" he shouted. Everyone turned their heads, and sure enough, the corpse lying on the ground showed signs of movement. Although I coughed a few times, my eyes were still tightly shut. I hadn't truly awakened yet. "Immortal Lee, please, I beg you, save my son's life," my father cried. Lee Half Crazy stared at me for a moment, lost in thought. It seemed this old eccentric had no intention of letting me off so easily. After a while, he spoke. "Looks like that old monster still refuses to release your boy's soul. Fine then. From this moment on, this child is my final disciple. If you won't give me face today, I don't care if you've cultivated 500 years, I'll still defy you." As soon as he finished, he shouted toward the water's surface. Then he blew across it for a long while, yet nothing happened. Irritated, he tossed aside his wine gourd, and like an arrow released from its string, dove straight into the river. Half an hour passed, and he never resurfaced. People began to whisper nervously, "Could it be? A child just drowned, and now the old man has drowned too?" Just as the villagers muttered in panic, I suddenly felt a surge of warmth flood into my body. In that instant, I woke up. At the same time, the water's surface stirred. Lee Half Crazy emerged at last. He hadn't drowned, though his face looked none too pleased. "This brat really owes me a beating. Wasted so much of my time," he muttered grumpily, regardless of whether his words were true or not. The fact that he could survive underwater for so long left everyone stunned. Their attitude toward him shifted immediately. After climbing ashore, he didn't linger. He had only taken a few steps when he turned back to say, "I'm going home to catch up on sleep. Tonight I'll come over and properly adjust this kid's body. Make sure you stew a chicken. No, 8 or 9 dishes worth." With that, he strode away. But before the villagers could catch their breath, a loud splash erupted behind them. A red-faced water monster broke the surface, glaring at Lee Half Crazy's retreating back and letting out a furious, unwilling screech. The villagers froze in terror. Thankfully, the creature didn't climb ashore to devour anyone. It quickly sank back beneath the waves. After that day, no one but Lee Half Crazy ever dared set foot near that cursed river again. To thank him for saving me once more, My family broke tradition and stewed not just one, but two hens that still laid eggs. Yet Lee half crazy said his real reason for coming wasn't for food. It was to take me as his disciple. My parents had no choice but to agree.